Now I gotta be nominated.
Right. Do that.
Alrighty. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call the regular council meeting of Fundy Albert Council to order for the evening of October 7th, 2025. Please note that Mayor Campbell will be absent tonight. First on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. The agenda has been circulated to you in advance. Does anyone have any additions or corrections that they would like to bring forward?
Yes, I would add to the agenda and in camera, 68-1D. Land
C. 68-1C.
1C, sorry.
Perfect. I do have a few more additions, so we'll go through those first before I ask for approval. I also would like to add public statements and inquiries to the agenda. This would make agenda item number 12, which would make the closed session number 13 and adjournment number 14. At the same time, I would like to add under the closed session, Local Governments Act 68-1G, litigation or potential litigation affecting the local government or any corporation referred to in subsection 8-1, the local government's agencies, boards, or commissions, including a matter before administrative tribunal. Also, at the same time, Local Governments Act 68-1F, information concerning legal opinions or advice provided to the local government by its solicitor or privileged communication between the solicitor and client in a matter of local government business. So there is 4 additions to the agenda. Does everyone agree to adding those 4 items?
Yeah,
Perfect. I will then entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
so moved.
Moved by Councillor Lynn, seconded by Councillor Elderkin. Any questions on the motion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. We'll now move on to number 3 on the agenda, which is conflict of interest declarations. Does council have any conflicts to declare? Seeing none, we'll move on to agenda item number 4, which is the adoption of the minutes. So bear with me as we go through a number of these minutes. Like I said, we have several minutes to adopt tonight. We'll start with 4A of August 5th of 2025, regular council meeting. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes of August 5th, 2025.
So moved.
So moved by Councillor Elderkin, seconded by Councillor Jonah. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. 4B, minutes of August 19th, 2025, special closed council meeting. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes of August 19th, 2025.
So moved.
Motion is made by Councillor Lynn, seconded by Councillor Elderkin. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. 4C, minutes from August 28th, 2025, special council meeting. I will entertain a motion to accept the minutes of August 28th, 2025. Motion has been made by Councillor Elderkin, seconded by Councillor Garden. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. Moving on to 4D, minutes from September 2nd, 2025, public hearing. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes of September 2nd, 2025.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councillor Elderkin and seconded by Councillor Garden. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. 4E, minutes from September 2nd, 2025, special council meeting. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from September 2nd, 2025. Motion is made by Councillor Jonah, seconded by Councillor Elderkin. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. 4F, September 16th, 2025, special council meeting. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes of September 16th, 2025.
So moved.
Motion made by Councillor Garden, second by Councillor Lamb. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion's been approved unanimously. 4G, minutes from September 16th, 2025, committee of the whole meeting. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from September 16th, 2025.
So moved.
Moved by, motion's been made by Councillor Land, seconded by Councillor Jonah. Any questions on the motion? Stop there, because I do have a quick question on the minutes from that meeting. Where we had some public sessions, or public presentations, sorry, there was one presentation from Mr. McGrath. And I believe that he did leave a document behind, and I'm wondering if that should not be referenced in the minutes. There was some numbers that were shared. Yeah, I do believe that it's important to council to have those, so I believe that should be referenced in that, it's on page 1 of the minutes. So I guess at this point, does council want to have that document included as part of the minutes? Or just leave it as it's?
Did Mr. McGrath provide the documents to anybody, to staff or council? I remember the documents, but who received the documents?
There's not a submission, official submission.
Okay.
So he handed them out after the meeting.
So my question would be, was it meant for council and administrators room, or was it meant for all of Funderburk? Because if they're submitted in the minutes and it was meant for us, it's different than posting them online and they're for the public.
And I can't answer that.
Maybe it would be best that it's noted that the documents were provided to council, but not necessarily having the documents added.
I think it just needs a notification that there was a document that was up.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Let's put that.
So if that's the case, then we do not continue with a vote on that.
Yeah, they have to, there's
So still a vote to accept. them as
You have
amended.
it, have, someone made a motion to approve, we had a seconder, so now. I guess we could say to,
As amended.
as amended.
So the minutes of September 16th, 2025 committee of the whole meeting have been amended. That all council has agreed to that. We're gonna go into the question on the motion. So all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved. We have one more set of minutes to go through, which is 4H, minutes from October 1st, 2025, special council meeting. I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes from October 1st, 2025.
So moved.
Motion's been made by Councillor Ergen, seconded by Councillor Land. Any questions on this motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. Thank you. There is nothing under the consent agenda, so we're going to move on to the public administration presentations. And they're seeing none, so we're gonna move on to item number 7, which is the reports and recommendations from the committee and private meetings. So we're gonna start with the personnel committee.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, Councilor Overkin. How about 7B, emergencies and measures committee, Councilor Coates?
No, nothing to put in.
Perfect, thank you, Councilor Coates. And 7C, which is the recreation committee,
Yes.
Councilor Jonah?
Yep, have one thing. Dominic Picard from Riverside, Albert's name has been brought forward to join the Recreation Committee. She comes highly recommended by Joanne Button, and who was on our committee as well, so I move to appoint Dominic Picard to the Recreation Committee.
Perfect, so that motion's been made by Councilor Jonah. Is there a second on that motion?
And second.
Second by Councilor Elderkin. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. The last section would be 7D, which is ATV access on roads and streets committee. Back to you, Councillor Coates.
ATV has asked for a little portion on the Bundy Albert land, and it's sent to Kim, and it'll be brought in as a bylaw. Bring that up. They have to have it as a bylaw, right?
There, yeah, so the ATV would have to be a bylaw.
Yeah,
However,
we've got
that agreement that you gave
Put it
me,
up to,
I've sent it off to, the snowmobile club. Because the federation has something in place already, so I just wanted to compare, so I did reach out to the president. Reach out to someone at the federation.
or it will be brought in the next meeting or whatever.
Whenever
we get
Whenever
there.
he gets back to
That's
me.
just as long as we've been waiting for
Yeah, I know.
a year and a half for nothing else on it, just that will come in.
Perfect, thank you, Councillor Coates. Moving on to agenda item number 8 from administration. We'll start with 8A, which is the travel and expense policy for elected officials.
So I did recirculate the proposed policy. I did change some wording. I revised wording from municipal business to representing the municipality. Reimbursement rates based on provincial standards, not federal. Also section 3.5 wording revised to May. And the hospitality expense limit increased to $100 from $50. Is there any questions?
So before we go to questions, we should probably entertain a motion and then open it to questions. Right, so I will entertain a motion to accept the travel expense policy for elected officials.
Be it resolved that the council of the municipality of Fundy Albert hereby approves the travel and expense policy for elected officials as presented.
Perfect, thank you, Councillor Elkin, seconded by Councillor Lind. Any questions on this motion?
No, I think, our clerk has captured all the suggestions from the last meeting. So that's. I'm in support of it.
Perfect, thank you. One thing that I would like to add is just I did notice that under the mileage section, we are not defining the actual rate. Where under the meal section, we defined the actual meal rate, so I'm wondering if that should have been added, or we just leave that, I'm not sure. Just it's weird that we have the meal rate, but we don't have the mileage rate. And then I guess just to end that would be that the provincial government does change these rates on occasions, usually sometimes once, twice a year. So maybe we should remove the rates altogether and have it as a, I'm not sure, just because then you don't have to be updating that policy twice a year when the provincial government does change those rates. So it can go either way, I guess. I'm just looking for feedback on that.
I would find just leaving it and moving it, if we're gonna follow province's rates, keep an eye on it.
So just leave it as, we'll follow the provincial government rates and
Yeah.
have no rates included in the
Right.
policy because they do change.
Right, so if we're gonna follow, then we'll follow it. Makes it easier.
What does the rest of council think of that?
I would like to see the policy be approved and we can amend it down the road, because if we don't do it tonight, it's gonna be another month before we get it back into circulation, and it can be modified at any time. The bulk of it is consistent and correct, and I think those are changes, absolutely, but they're minor changes. And I think having the rates for somebody that doesn't study the rates is very helpful, because I don't follow the provincial rates in my day-to-day.
I'm okay with the way it is.
Yeah.
We can make changes down the road if we so need to be.
Does council need to vote on updates to this policy that were mentioned? So the mileage changes, and so if those are updated, let's say twice a year, does council have to vote to update those changes, or those changes that can be just done dynamically by staff?
like it could be just done by staff, because it does indicate that we're following the provincial rate.
Yeah.
So,
It's more of a dynamic number, okay.
and we will review the policy and on a regular basis,
Okay.
so.
I would be in favor of looking at this tonight and voting on it tonight.
Perfect. So we will go into a motion. So the motion's been there's been made and seconded. So those are more questions, so we'll go into the vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. Next is 8B, which is the Riverside Albert utility transfer.
Okay, so on January 2nd of 2025, council had approved utility budgets. Which included a transfer of $12,400 from the Riverside Albert Operating Reserve Fund. As a revenue item, in order to complete this transfer from the operating reserve into the operating requires a resolution of council.
Perfect. Is there a resolution to be made tonight?
Whereas it was included in the utility budget to transfer 12,400 from the Riverside Albert Utility Operating Reserve Fund to the Riverside Albert Operating Fund. Be it resolved that 12,400 from the Riverside Albert Operating Reserve Fund to the Riverside Albert Operating Fund.
Perfect. Motion's been made by Councilor Arvigan, seconded by Councilor Coates. Any questions on the motion?
Just one clarification, the Riverside Albert Operating Fund is the utility fund, right?
Correct.
Right, okay. Just for clarification, it is the water and utility account.
Perfect. Any more questions on the motion? We're gonna go into a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. Moving right along to 8C, which is a trade-in of surplus dump trailer for a float trailer. Did you have anything you would like to add before a motion?
I think all the information's there unless you have any questions on it.
We'll go into a motion, so I'll entertain a motion, please.
Thank you. Whereas the village of Fundy Albert owns a surplus high-sided dump trailer that is no longer required. And whereas a float trailer is needed for the safe and efficient transport of municipal equipment, reducing safety risks and contractor costs. And whereas a supplier has offered a trade-in resulting in a net cost of $2,764 plus HST and licensing. And has committed to offering a similar deal on another unit should be quoted trailer be unavailable. Be it resolved, the Fundy Albert Council approved the trade-in of the surplus dump trailer toward the purchase of a float trailer at a net cost of $2,764 plus HST and licensing, and authorize administration to proceed within a variance of up to $3,500 should a comparable unit be required.
Perfect. Thank you, Councilor Land. Is there a second round of motion? Second by Councilor Jonah. Any questions on the motion?
I do. On the new trailer. Is it heavy enough to haul the tractor?
Yes.
Okay. Is there, how big is the axis? How big, what can you haul on? How, what's it, do you have the numbers on it, for the trailer?
I don't have the specific numbers, but my leading hand has gone down, looked at it, looked at the specs and the tractor and everything. It can haul on a tractor with the attachment on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Any further questions on this motion?
Just one question for me, and authorize administration to proceed with a variance of up to 3,500. That's not in addition, that's
Not in addition. so-
moving from the 2,700 to the
Yeah.
35 if necessary.
Yeah, the other quotes were somewhat different. However, the company that's offered this first one said he would try and give us a similar deal on a
Right.
different trailer if that one's not available.
Yep, nope, that's just looking for the clarification in the motion, that's all.
Thank you. Seeing no more questions, we're gonna go into a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion's been approved unanimously. Moving on to agenda item number 9, the bylaws. There's 2 readings of bylaws that need to be done tonight. So the first one, bylaw number 25 W8P069 FA-2. Is there a counselor prepared to read that bylaw?
I'll read it. I move that council give third and final reading by title only to bylaw number 25-WAP 069 FA 2. A bylaw to amend ministerial regulation 21 WAP 069 00.
So move.
Perfect, so it's been read by Councilor Garden and seconded by Councilor Lint. Any questions on the motion? Okay, seeing none, we're going to go to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's been approved unanimously. So there's a resolution of council that needs to be read as well.
It is resolved that considering that 681-884 MB Limited has made an application to rezone the properties bearing PID 006179969 and 05123070 to the IRD zone, intensive resource development zone, to allow the establishment of a rock quarry. And considering that the council has approved this request subject to conditions. Notwithstanding any other provisions to the contrary, the lands, buildings, and structures developed on the aforementioned property are subject to the following terms and conditions. A, that the permitted use be limited to a quarry, and B, approval to operate under the rock quarry sitting standards must be obtained from the Department of Environment and Local Government, DELG, prior to a development permit being issued.
Perfect, thank you, Councilor Overton. Is there a second? Second by Councilor Land. Any questions on that resolution? Seeing none, we're gonna go to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion has been approved unanimously. Number 9B, which is bylaw number 2025-02, Code of Conduct Bylaw, Council Frank Albert. Is there a council prepared to read that resolution?
Mr. Boyd,
I move that council give third and final reading to title only to bylaw number 2025-02, a code of conduct bylaw for the council of Fundy Albert. Whereas the village of Fundy Albert is hereby given its third and final reading, that bylaw 2025-202 is enacted on the 7th day of October 2025.
Perfect, thank you, Councilor Land. Is there a seconder?
Okay.
Second by Councilor Jonah. Any questions on that motion or the resolution? Seeing none, we're gonna go to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Or opposed, nay. Motion's been approved unanimously. Moving on to agenda item number 10, which is merit and council statements and inquiries. So, Councilor Land, any updates you'd like to share?
Yes, it's into the Golf Club Road project, and they've run into a few little snags that set them back a few days, but they're working at it. The new pipe has showed up this week, so they'll be able to start looking towards that, assembling that, which is great. Big shout out to Danny Jonah and Kim Horn and all the volunteers for the Eric Eads Memorial Golf Tournament. They had last weekend, big turnout, and they're in the ballpark of $9,500 to donate towards the playground in Hillsborough. That was their sponsor this year. So it's where the money was going. So again, thank you guys. Great turnout. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you for your report. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, just a couple things for me, with Remembrance Day coming up, I know this is new for Councilor Garden. But I did get a confirmation from Mr. Jubb that he is willing to support us this year again by doing Remembrance Day services in Riverside, Albert and Alma. So we usually rotate them, so I think Alma's due to have it on Remembrance Day. I'll respond to Mr. Jubb and we'll get together with him to make the arrangements.
Absolutely. Yes.
Riverside Albert Fire Department's having an open house tomorrow night at 6 p.m. If anybody's around, please stop in. And I attended the annual conference for the UMMB for the municipalities of New Brunswick, which was a great weekend with my fellow councillors and mayor. Lots of good information. And I just have a couple questions here about some other things, about the water conservation in Riverside Albert. There seems to be some confusion on what the actual situation is and how severe it is or it isn't.
We should be conserving water as much as possible. So I have an update just for this meeting. The level in the reservoir is 24 inches below the spillway. The so what behind that is the lowest it's been this summer is 31 inches below the spillway, so it has been much lower at one point. That was around about the time that we cleaned the reservoirs, so we did drain a bit of water from it. Over the past week, we've been checking it every single day, and that level has maintained, if not improved. So we're kind of holding steady with where we are. We have been pushing out generic conservation notices across the whole community pretty much since July. We are now doing more focused notices in Riverside Albert, where rather than just doing it once a week, we're trying to hit portions of the village every day to create conversations, so it's always at the forefront of people's minds to try and conserve as much water as possible. When you look at our actual usage, the usage is up from what it would normally be from, say, this time last year. However, it's really difficult to tell how much of the new norm that is, or if it's a leak, because round about December last year is when we had that leak on Bicentennial, the usage went right up. Looking at the charts in the past year, it drops right down after we fixed that leak, and it stayed reasonably steady around about 40 to 48,000 gallons a day. Whereas this time last year, we were probably in the mid to high 30s. So whether or not that's another leak, and the engineers are working on a plan to look for more leaks, or if it's usage just due to more people within the Riverside Albert, but looking at the new developments we've had, the usage probably doesn't account for that much.
Yeah, we have the brand new the apartment building that
Yeah.
just opened this year, which I don't know, it's, some of them are 2 and 3 bedrooms, so I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
We kind of worked out from between 16 and 18 units as such, whether that's a 2-bed house or an apartment. That still wouldn't account for all of the usage we're seeing as a bit more than what it was last year. So, we believe there is possibly a leak in the system somewhere. Maybe there's some misuse of water, which is why we're putting out the notices that if everybody does their bit, looks out to see if they see anything unusual, somewhere there could be a leak, soft ground, lots of green grass just in the middle of a lawn where a leak may have sprung, bring that to our attention. Our guys will investigate. We've got about a list of 15 to 20 different areas we're looking on a regular basis to ensure there's no leakage. We're checking buildings that aren't occupied, just to make sure the curb stops are off. And anytime we get an idea that something may not be quite right, we're investigating straight away.
And as far as the notices out to the community, I know we received a void alert.
Yep.
But has there been some notices that are going out door
Yes.
to door? Is
So-
that the part you're doing in
Yes.
sections of the
Yes.
village?
Yeah, so
Cause there is some confusion that some got them and some didn't,
Yeah.
and is it just on that side of the village and not on this?
and it's great to hear that it's created that conversation about unity. It's by
It's great, Ian, it's
So,
great. No.
I know it seems a
I
bit
know.
of counterintuitive, but the conversation is happening.
Yeah.
So people are asking questions, which is exactly what we want to do, is get it to the forefront of people's mind that we should be conserving water.
Okay, that was my one question. My other question was, I think you had brought to council not too long ago, the purchase of a truck. Is that coming back or is that urgency gone?
Yep, it's going to be coming back for the next committee of the whole.
Okay. That's it for me. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you, Councilor Albertine, Councilor Coates.
Yes, I attended the all municipal council session on September 27th with the mayor and deputy mayor. It's quite informative. I also, this weekend, do the UM and the I guess 2025 year council. Quite intensive, and a lot of surprises were brought up, and quite a session on the fire departments, which was noted down, leave them alone. Also, as the EMO has concluded with a draft communications in the region, they've asked for reviews and any changes by October 9th. I don't know, I haven't heard anything from you or, and this,
Is that the evacuation plan?
yeah,
Yeah.
evacuation.
On my list.
It's quite a, that's, and the last thing I would, ask the Rocket Center in Roosevelt, Albert, it's owned by Fundy Albert, I would explore the cost of showers installed, as there is funding under RDC and a couple of other things that I get that from. If if not, if we were on over 24 hours, we'd be having them with new people out to mow the or just an estimate of
Yep.
what it would cost.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Councilor Coates. Moving on to Councilor Gardner.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I just have a few things. I did want to have a shout out to the Alma Fleet Launch Weekend that's happening starting this Friday, the 10th to the 13th. There's lots of festivities for the family, for kids. It's a great time, and the actual launch happens on the following Tuesday, but all the festivities will be happening this weekend. So the list of scheduled events can be found at the almafleetlaunch.com or on the Facebook page for the Alma Fleet Launch 2025. So hopefully we'll see everybody there. I did have a couple questions for the Director of Operations, also about water, one of them, for the Alma Water Project. Just in a summary, how is that progressing? I know there was a work stoppage, but that has since continued after the work stoppage, so.
That work stoppage had no significant impact on the way the project was proceeding. We're still looking at a December finish to get it all online. The work that happened on Forest Drive, Chignecto the other week, that was actually tying our system into the new well and everything. So that's all connected now. Work beginning on the reservoirs, I believe this week, if not next.
Those would be the two towers, the
Yeah,
reservoir towers, okay.
reservoirs, and everything's moving forward,
So still on schedule.
still on schedule.
Okay, good. The only other question I have is for the Alma gazebo. Is that on schedule? There was, I guess, a previous conversation about the gazebo being completed for the fleet launch weekend. It doesn't look like that's the case. What's the progress on that?
So unfortunately, the work stoppage in the woods is what caused that delay.
Okay,
He didn't have the large 20-foot logs in his yard ready to go, and with that stoppage, it kind of knocked him back 2 or 3 weeks. So unfortunately, and I am absolutely devastated that we didn't make it for fleet launch, but it's moving forward as best we can. I've seen a few pictures, and I'll get some more pictures out on Facebook as soon as I've got a few more together.
yeah,
It's looking good. It's going to be a great structure.
before winter.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right, well, that's all I
Stay warm
have.
underneath.
Is it still warm? Okay. That's all I have.
Perfect, thank you, Councilor Gardner. Councilor Jonah.
As well as most of the council, I was at the UMB meeting in St. John this week. Find the outlet was very well attended. One thing is the street police, the network, a lot of networking going on, and you know, it's not that I was happy to hear it, but it relieved me a little bit that There are other villages still struggling with amalgamation. It's not just our problem, and some of them make ours look pretty small. So, you know, it's not nice to hear other villages are struggling, but it's nice to hear it's not just us. And, in the first time in 13 years I've been going, that there was, most of council was there, which is really nice that we were represented. I think we all enjoyed it, you know, enjoyed ourselves, and took great opportunities that we could over there. Listened to, some good seminars, met some great people. Good weekend all the way around. Tomorrow night, the Hillsborough Fire Department is also having an open house. They're not in Albert, stop up in Hillsborough. And see what they got going on, starts at 6 p.m. And lastly, the monthly or every 6 week Kiwanis Breakfast Buffet is happening October 18th. Grab your fork and head on over from 8 till 10 o'clock. That's it.
Wonderful. Great events that are being planned, nice to hear. So I'm gonna go on with a little report from myself, so I just have a few updates to report on. So I attended the all council meeting for the Southeast Regional Service Commission on September 27th. We're receiving a review of the proposed budget for the commission. One of the presentations was on tourism. It was exciting to hear that Fundy Park seen a 5.1% increase in guests this year, as well as the Hopewell Rock seen a 20% increase in visitors. So that's completely amazing. So I wanted to share those numbers with you. Also attended along with my fellow councilors to the UMNB AGM in St. John. A few highlights from the weekend include there's a new funding model that is coming down the line from ELG, which includes funding on physical capacity and capital renewal funding. Information will be sent to our CEO in the coming days. It was also mentioned with the recent announcement regarding the freezing of assessments. There was a question of, has our municipality sent a letter expressing the impact of the balancing of budget and continuing of our services for our residents? So I'm not sure if a letter's been sent. I believe that there was a draft letter that was sent to the municipality. So we could just follow up to make sure that we have done that on behalf of the UMB and our respond. Great. Few questions from, so I do have a few questions from the last meeting that I haven't received yet. First is the cost of the PMHP plan. Second is the cost of summer students versus the grant funding received. So if I could get that information in some time, that'd be great. Finally, I believe there are several ideas that are brought up during the council reports that we never actually get actioned. So I'm wondering if there could be a working document where these items are listed and the status of the request. So that might be something that we need to move forward. Also just for the minutes purposes, I believe we're still waiting on the 2023 audit. As of right now, I believe that we are 1 week behind schedule. So we should be receiving that fairly soon. I hope. Sure. Yeah, so I guess I know, I understand that the workload that is required for administration staff, and I greatly appreciate the work that we need to do. But I do believe that we need to put some priority on updating the policy that allows us to define our agenda and the formats. So if there's a way that we could open that bylaw and look at that to do in the near future. That's all I have to carry from my report. Is there any questions to any of the councilors or myself tonight? Seeing none, we're gonna move on to then item number 11, which is notice of motions and resolutions. Seeing none on the agenda, we're gonna move on to public statements and inquiries. Looks like we're alone tonight, so we're gonna continue to move on to number 13, which is closed session. I'll entertain a motion to enter a closed session. It's been made by Councillor Land, seconded by Councillor Evans.
We'll bring it back. Stop rocking.
There's a back.
Perfect, so council has returned from closed session. All right, the council has come back from meeting in a closed session. At this point, I will ask council if there is a motion to be read.
There's a motion. I move that council authorize staff to direct the municipal solicitor to undertake all necessary legal action with regards to legal matter as discussed in camera 68-1G on October 7th, 2025.
So moved.
Perfect, so. Motion's been made by Councilor Garden, seconded by Councilor Land. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, we're going to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion's been approved unanimously. Thank you, council. So at this point, I would ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Perfect, moved by Councilor Fritz.